I'm going to be sharing my insider secret pro makeup artist tips that are going to help to transform your face. So these are different things that I do when I'm working on clients that just generally help to make the makeup look a lot kind of softer, natural, give you that really kind of like celebrity look that isn't cakey, that just makes your skin look great. If you use all of them together, amazing, but you can also kind of separate them and pick, you know, which ones you want to pick and infuse them into your own makeup routine. But one of the first ones is to make sure that you do prep your skin in the right way. Now, I can't wait for you guys to actually learn all these next steps that I'm going to be doing because they are pretty game changing for your makeup. So first off, let's just prep the skin very quickly. I'm going to be using my KOSAS Plump and Juicy Vegan Collagen Spray-On Serum, and I really do like this on clients and on myself just because I feel like you're really hydrating the skin and it gives you the most smooth, juicy skin ready for makeup. So you want to shake this up. There are several different types of spray serums that you can get. You can use a normal serum. It doesn't have to be a spray one, but it's just very easy to just kind of like spray on and your skin just kind of soaks it up. So I am just going to go ahead and spray this. I have to wait for it so that I don't choke. As you can see, my skin is kind of like, it looks wet. That's what you actually want. So I know a lot of people tend to spray, like some people use the MAC thick spray, whatever it's called. Some people use other kind of sprays and they kind of like don't spray enough. So what you want to make sure is you do spray enough so that your skin actually looks kind of wet like this. This is what's going to give you that really nice hydrated skin, and everything else is going to sit perfectly on top. But you want to make sure you don't apply your moisturizer too quickly. You want to let this settle down, let your skin feel dry to the touch, not super dry, but just not wet like it is now, and then apply your moisturizer. So I'm going to let this settle down and then I'm going to apply my moisturizer. But actually, I'm going to apply my eye cream first because that will give me a little bit of time in between. So I'm just using my Drunk Elephant C-Tango and I am just going to smooth this over. I actually get really shocked when I hear people saying that they don't use eye cream. I can't tell you how much of a difference this is going to make. And if you use your moisturizer and you just put it all over, that's fine once in a blue moon, but it also does depend what kind of moisturizer you're using, because what you need to remember is that may be a little bit too heavy for your eye area. My skin feels dry, it kind of feels supple, so that's what I really want. So not dry, like I said earlier, dry, but you just want it to feel like it's not wet. So I'm going to use my moisturizer, my Drunk Elephant Protini Polypeptide Cream, and just going to get a small amount. And you want to make sure that you put a good layer on, but not so much that it could potentially start pilling. Pilling is when you apply any kind of makeup product and then you start to see it all kind of like rubbing off. So that can happen where maybe you've applied too much skincare, like it's just too much for your skin and it's just sitting, or you've applied each skincare step too close together. So you want to make sure you leave enough time in between and you also apply something that is basically what your skin needs. For example, if I have oily or combination skin and I've applied a really thick, rich moisturizer, that's just gonna sit on my skin because my skin isn't dry enough to really soak all that moisturizer up. So then what happens is your skin will start pilling when you start to apply makeup. So you really want to feel like you haven't got like this thick layer of stuff all over your skin. So just make sure you've got a nice thin layer and your skin feels nice and supple. It doesn't feel gunky, and that's ready for the next step. Now you can use primer if you want to. It's completely up to you. It really depends on whether you feel that you need it. I want to apply quite a light primer, so I'm going to use my Beauty Blender Boost Firming and Smoothing Peptide Primer. Another misconception I think a lot of people have is that they feel that they have to use primer all over. You really don't. Just use it in the areas that you feel that you need it. For example, if you're using a pore minimizing primer, use it where you have that issue. If you're using a smoothing primer, use it where you feel that you need that smoothing. If you're using a hydrating one, maybe you need it all over. And if you need a kind of like mattifying one, apply it to the areas that you tend to get more shiny. Now we're ready for makeup. This is a great pro tip for you. I'm going to be using my Huda Beauty Easy Blur in Toffee 420G and my BK Beauty 106 brush because I love this for foundation application. I'm going to show you exactly how you should be applying your foundation. This is regardless of however you apply your concealer, whether it be before or after foundation. This is how pros would apply foundation. I myself apply foundation this way way to my clients, and I know you're gonna love it. So first thing you wanna do is get your foundation onto the back of your hand, not too much. Now you wanna get your brush and you wanna prime your brush. So you're basically prepping your brush with the foundation before you apply it to your skin. So we're gonna really buff the foundation into the brush. So can you see I dragged a little bit across my hand, and there you go. I'm really making sure I'm coating the brush, but now it's so kind of buffed into the brush that if I were to apply this straight to the skin, I'm not gonna get a whole dollop of makeup. I'm gonna get a really nice, even, airbrushed look of foundation application. Now this is where the next tip comes in. You wanna make sure that you actually apply from the center outwards. The outside part of your face doesn't actually need as much foundation. So what we wanna do is start from the side of the nose, and you'll see now, because I'm gonna show you side by side, this is gonna give you a really nice airbrushed look, which actually does not look heavy. Can you see we're pressing it into the skin? We're going from the center, and then we're gonna just take this out. Center of the forehead, and then we're gonna drag out. Have you noticed that I haven't actually gone back into the foundation? So this is still that one amount that I've really buffed into the sponge. Now you want to try and take this as far as you can so that you don't have to actually apply more. So now we're taking it out towards the edges of the face. There you go. Can you see how we've got this really nice airbrush finish to the skin on this side? It doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look cakey, and all we've done is used a very small amount of foundation. We've not had to double dip into the foundation. We've buffed it into the brush and then buffed it into the skin. So start from the center and then work your way out so that you don't have that kind of mask effect on the edges. So what we're gonna do now is do the same thing on this side. Really focus on the middle part of the face. When you start approaching your makeup in this way, it really is game changing, because your base is just gonna be so kind of like on point, and you've kind of mastered the way to create that flawless look without it looking heavy. So now we're gonna just drag this out. We're still buffing all the way, just towards the outer part of the face, and because we've applied most of the foundation that was on the brush along the center of the face, we're left with just the right amount that can be dragged out into the kind of like perimeter of the face, which is again where I said you don't actually need as much foundation. The more you apply on the perimeter, the more heavy mask-like it's going to look. As you can see, we've got this really nice base. It's kind of given us that nice flawless look, but obviously we do have dark circles, so we want to cover that. Now we're going to move on to the next tip. This is how you lift your features with concealer. This is doing 2 in 1. You're covering dark circles or any darkness around areas like around the nose or around the lip area, but you're also lifting to give yourself that really nice snatched look at the end. We're gonna get a concealer. I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape, and I am gonna apply this just here. This is going to help to cover my dark circles. You don't need to apply it all over the under eye area. Then we're going to apply a small amount here and here, just from underneath the lower lash line going up towards the temples, just a little dash. You don't need a lot of it. It's not for coverage, this part. This part is for lifting. Then you're going to go beneath the lower lip line and you're going to drag up towards the same area. Can you see they're all going in the same direction? Can you see that this and this is going in the same direction? So that's going to really help to lift that area and help with any darkness around that area. We're going to get the beauty blender and we're going to just press. You want to keep it in the same place. You don't want to move it around. That is literally all you're going to do. You can do this before or after foundation. If you do it before foundation, you're better off using a slightly lighter concealer so that it can come through the foundation. If you do it on top of foundation like what I am, you can use a concealer which is a little bit closer to your skin color. This area here is going to be for the dark circles. And you're going to take it upwards into the temples. So can you see how this has kind of given you the coverage, but it's also lifted the area? Don't be fooled into thinking that this doesn't do much. Honestly, I can't begin to tell you how much of a difference this makes. If you do your makeup this way and then you try it again and you don't do it this way at all and you do not focus on any kind of lifting, there is a huge difference. I have noticed it over the years, even when I've worked on clients, it genuinely makes a massive difference. So don't take this tip lightly. Master it, because it is going to be game changing for you and it is just going to make you look years younger. Now, I've still got a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to take that with the sponge and I'm just going to kind of like go over, just because I like doing that so that the under eyes don't look so disconnected from the rest of the face. There you go. It's kind of like warmed them up a little bit now so they don't look so bright in comparison to the rest of my skin. Now, we're not going to be setting this yet because there's a couple of more tricks that I want to show you that are pretty cool. So the next tip for you is making sure you apply your blush before you do any kind of contour or bronzer. I'm gonna explain why. When you apply your blush first, it's easy to kind of it's easy to be a little bit heavy-handed with your blush. So the great thing about doing this before you apply your bronzer or your contour is that you can go a little bit OTT if you want to, because as soon as you apply your contour, which is just beneath where you apply your blush, it kind of just allows the perfect amount of blush to come through. And you'll actually see this throughout as I apply my blush now. And then when I move on to the next trick, which is sculpting the face a little bit, which is perfect if you don't like contouring, by the way, so make sure you keep watching. But then you're gonna see how it changes the way the blush looks. So this tip is really a case of showing you how it can look once you've applied everything else. Okay, so I am gonna get my Milk Makeup Cooling Jelly Water Tint, whatever it's called. And this one is in Chill. Absolutely love these, my favorite blushes ever. And I've got my Hourglass 15 brush. Okay, so I just twist this up a bit and I like to kind of like just take some color and just skim the brush over. Don't really go right in. You're just getting a nice even amount of color onto the tip. And then we're going to apply this just along this area here. So we are just going to press. I'm not pressing hard, by the way, because it's easy to be a little bit too heavy-handed with this. Okay, now I feel like I know how much I need on the brush, so I can keep building it up. See how we've taken it up here and it's going up a little bit into the hairline? This is really going to help to give you that lifted look. Okay, let's apply it on this side. Okay, I'm happy with that blush, but obviously it's just kind of there. So I'm gonna show you next what's gonna really help to just complete that. Now, this pro tip is an amazing way to sculpt your face without having to worry about contour. Don't be mistaken in thinking that every pro makeup artist contours on every face. I love contouring personally, but I don't always do it on my clients, and on myself, I don't always contour. So I wanna show you a really easy way to sculpt the face and get a very similar result, but it's probably gonna be a little bit more soft focus for you, easier to do, and I don't think you'll ever be drawing stripes on your face ever again. So let's go. You want to get a foundation which is a lot darker than your skin tone, not so dark that it's a massive contrast, a lot deeper. I'm using my Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation in 1M01. And my foundation, concealer, everything is already on. I've got a little bit of liquid blush. This is really going to help to sculpt. Now I'm going to get a pump of this on the back of my hand. You want to get a beauty blender. You want to really go into this foundation so it's coated the sponge really well, but you don't want to end up pressing it on your skin and you get a whole load of product. You really want a kind of nice soft finish. I would suggest using a foundation which is light coverage, so nothing which is heavy or thick, because this is really not about the coverage, this is about the sculpting. Now what we're gonna do is go from the top of the ear and we're gonna use this foundation to really warm up the face and just sculpt where we need it. See how immediately we've got that warmth there? Now we're gonna go over to this side. So all you're doing is creating that nice kind of like depth there that you would normally create with contour, but you're using a sponge and a darker foundation. And then we're going to go along the perimeter of the face, and this is just going to warm up the face and create some depth to the face. You can also take this and go underneath the jawline and then just kind of take it down. This is really going to help to sculpt your jawline as well. That's honestly it. So you don't have to go with a contour product or use stripes all over the face if you find that a little bit intimidating. Just use a darker shade foundation, use a sponge, and just dab it onto the areas that you want to really sculpt, and that will give you a really nice three-dimensional look to your base, which is softer than contouring. Now, can you see that the right amount of blush is coming through? Now, it's not just blush that we see there, it's a lot more sculpting to the face, and it's kind of let just the right amount of blush come through. This is a great tip when it comes to setting your makeup. What you need for this is your setting powder. I'm using my Huda Beauty Easy Baking Banana Bread, and your powder puff. Now, my personal favorite, and it has been for years, is the Laura Mercier powder puff. Amazing, so much better than those cheaper ones you get on Amazon, honestly, and this lasts for ages because you can wash it. So I am gonna now curl the powder puff around my finger there, so I've got this really nice kind of like dome shape. I'm gonna press into the powder like this. Now when you do this, by pressing it into the powder and then you go straight onto the skin, you get way too much powder on your skin. So what this tip is you priming your powder puff with the powder. We're gonna go into the middle of the hand there. We're gonna just press the powder, kind of like just roll it around so that we've got all the excess off and there's just the perfect amount of powder left there. And this allows us to get just the right amount of powder on the skin. Obviously we're gonna dust it off, but this avoids all that excess kind of like chunks of powder on your skin that you really don't need and can end up actually making it look really cakey. So whatever's left on the hand, we can take that and go on the other side. So you don't actually need to keep dipping into your powder. So we've done the under eyes. I just wanna dust that off because honestly, I don't feel like you actually need to leave it there that long. So you wanna get a brush. I'm using the Real Techniques one. There's no product on the brush, and just dust off this product. We're gonna do the same thing for the rest of the face. So I'm just making sure there's not too much powder. There you go, we've got the perfect amount for the rest of the face. We're not seeing any kind of like obvious bits of powder on the skin. You're just seeing it slowly mattify the base. You're gonna get a bigger brush. Whatever's left in the hand, just grab it onto the brush and then you're just gonna dust over the face. And that is literally it. So ultimately it's about priming your puff with the powder before you apply it to your skin. I'm gonna do my brows really quickly and I'll be back in a sec. This is a really good trick for a perfect barely there wing. I do this all the time. I do it on myself all the time. I do it on clients all the time. It is just the easiest way to do a wing. And it works for hooded eyes, so you wanna keep watching. Okay, so I'm gonna be using my It Cosmetics Superhero No Tug Gel Liner in Brilliant Brown. You can use black, you can use any type of eye pencil you want, but this is the easiest way to get a kind of faded wing where you don't even have to worry about the rest of the eye. Not when it comes to eyeliner application anyway. But you still get that same effect. So what I'm gonna do is I've got my pencil here. I've also got my Sigma E30 brush. You're gonna apply a little dot on the end of the lash line, but a little bit before the end of the lash line. So just there. It can be a little dash or a dot, but don't take it outwards. Okay, I've got a tiny dot there. I've got my brush. I'm now gonna just drag this towards the temples immediately. If you wait, it could dry up and it'll be much harder to spread it. You can keep layering it up, so don't draw a wing, just do a little dot or a dash and then drag with the pencil brush. Can you see that is slowly fading out? Keep doing that dot depending on how kind of like dark you want it. So you could be happy with the first dot and that's enough, but if you want to keep kind of like darkening it, you can. There you go, I'm happy with that. Now this is where you can finish the whole eye off and it looks like you've got this whole eyeliner look, but you actually don't. Don't apply any to the top part of your lash line. You are just going to apply it on the waterline on the upper lash, so right underneath. So we're going to go right here and we're going to apply some of this pencil on the inside part there. There you go, not along the whole lash. So automatically that's made that lash line look darker there. And it's also elongated the lash line. Now we're gonna go underneath where we've applied the liner. So just on the outside part of the lash on the inside part of the lash, on the end of the lash. That's also darkened it. That in itself gives you the eyeliner look you need. That's all you need. And this is a waterproof gel liner, so it's not going anywhere and you're not gonna get any transfer either. Let me do that on the other side really quick so you can see that again. Little dot. Drag out. We did this 3 times, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. So we've got the same amount of depth. On the waterline here. Remember, we're not actually applying it on the middle, just on the inner part of the waterline near the end of the lash line. Now, when you put mascara on is when you can really see it come together. This is a pro tip I don't even feel like I need to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Curl your lashes before you put your mascara on. It honestly makes the biggest difference. And I cannot get over anyone who does not curl their lashes before putting mascara, unless you've already got like really nice curled lashes. But even if you think you have, try it, because you never know. You'll be like, wow, this is insane. This is my Hourglass Unlocked mascara, one of my favorite ones. And there you go, that is how you can do a faded wing, which is perfect for hooded eyes. So moving on to the last pro tip. This is again a really easy one, but maybe some of you haven't tried it yet. So I'm gonna be using my Laura Mercier Caviar Smoothing Matte Lipstick in Peach Cashmere. Absolutely love this lipstick at the moment. So this is where you want to apply this before you apply your lip liner. I've already got a little bit of lip balm on my lips and it's kind of like mostly come off. You don't want it to be too greasy underneath. And I'm gonna apply my lipstick. There you go. Just in the center. Looks awful without any lip liner. But now we're gonna get the lip pencil, and I'm using my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Anywhere Caffeine. And now I'm gonna line my lips. So very lightly, because this is where you see that you don't actually need as much lip liner. And then I use my finger to buff into the lipstick. So I kind of end up feathering it. And you end up actually using a lot less lip liner. Like I would have probably drawn a full-on harsh line before applying my lipstick. So by applying your lipstick first, it actually allows you to just, you know, rein it in a little bit with that lip liner. And there you have it. Those are my pro tips that I know are gonna be completely game changing for your makeup look. Can't wait for you guys to actually take what parts you like and use it. And if you take all of them, amazing. Cannot wait to hear from you and see how it's changed your makeup application. Now don't forget that I do have all the products listed in my description along with the discount codes. Don't miss out on that, because honestly it can save you a whole load of money. And I also have an online publication called The Beauty Breakfast Club, which is basically everything to do with beauty, health, wellness. There are newsletters that I write myself. There are 3 newsletters a week. You have 2 options for subscription. One is free, which gives you access to most of the site. The other is paid, but all it costs is the equivalent of a coffee a month. And it really does help you to kind of like help me to be able to reinvest back into my business, because as you know, I don't charge you guys for any of my videos or anything like that. I give everything out for free, so that would really, really help me out. And that gives you access to the entire site, plus a little chat room where we can chat. I also have another YouTube channel, which is primarily my vlogs and also a podcast that I host with my husband. You might want to head on over there and see just a little bit more of like real talk. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.